3-6. Hi, welcome to Two Italian Women
and the stories we tell
with Erica Martin
and Diane Bovalino.
Best-selling international author Diane Bovalino of Entangled No More. Why don't you tell us a little bit about them? First of all, let me say, I am so proud of this woman, and I've just seen her shine in this last year in developing her business and this podcast and now this book. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it? I'm really proud of you. Really proud of her.
So right now I am just in the space of having to get used to being an international bestseller.
What does that entail exactly?
To get used to the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, everyone, it's like I put my story out there to the world. So I'm feeling vulnerable, very vulnerable.
You know, one of the, not to interrupt you, but one of the greatest lessons I was ever taught was by a spiritual guru that we both worked with. Her name was Lotus, and she said there is such power and strength in being vulnerable, right? It's like the thing we resist the most, right, is really putting ourselves out there. Well, we know how hard was it to do on this podcast, right? To really allow yourself to just kind of be, you know, so putting yourself out in your story also, why don't you talk about that a little bit?
So the reason I did it, literally, I wrote to my mailing list. I mean, I don't want to say call it my mailing list, my close clients. I wrote that Spirit came to me on Friday night Sunday night at midnight, because I was in the group because my yoga teacher is in the group and I was there supporting her, and they were looking for more authors and everything had to be in by Friday, and we were in the middle of our launch of our podcast
and our fundraiser.
Yes.
And everything that was going on with that at the time. Nothing like overwhelming yourself.
And it's on so the book is on toxic relationships, but it's not about the toxic relationships at all. So,
well, the book says Entangled No More.
Right.
No longer being in those toxic entanglements, I guess, is really.
Yes. And now how we thrived. And now there's 20 authors. So it's a multi-author book. And now these all 20 authors are running, umpires, we call them, but basically everyone has a business. Everyone has a healing business. So that's what it's about.
Well, what a beautiful conglomeration of women just coming together to tell their story, right? And stand in their truth, which is what our channel is all about. Is there a dark side that comes with that? And you and I have had private conversations, so you can share as much or as little as you like, and I'll join you or not.
Yes. So there's the side of, I'm starting to notice that, some friends are falling away, and just, didn't think that was, I guess I didn't think that was going to happen.
I can just speak from my experiences, which is, we talk about energy a lot on this channel, right? And when you meet people and you enter into relationships with people, you're kind of like on an energetic plane that is either equal to or greater than, right? And those people that are slightly, at least it doesn't have to be true, it could just be their perception, that they see themselves as kind of like elevated or superior to you or more in control of how the relationship is going to go, they're not going to like it. They're not going to like it when energy kind of shifts and you go to being, you're rising, you're what's the word I'm looking for? Ascending. You're ascending, right? And when you do that, there will be those people, because of their own deep insecurities, Diane, because of their own issues and not feeling like we're on an equal playing field, or that I'm no longer in that position of authority, that are going to pull away. And I've had that. I had that when I started my business, when it was like, when I was miserably depressed and working as a school teacher and didn't have my shit together. Like I had a lot of friends in my life. Some of them have stayed, God bless, they're wonderful friends. And some were kind of like, they liked me in that energy. They liked me
They
there.
liked you in the shitstorm?
They liked me in the shitstorm.
Okay.
And I think it's because they like being like the savior of the shitstorm, maybe. Or they liked being looked up to, maybe,
Okay.
right? And so in our relationships, no matter what relationships we are, romantic, friendships, family, there's always going to be like this power dynamic. And it's complicated, but it hurts. It hurts because you think like the people who love me the most, I want them to celebrate, right? In my accomplishments. I want them to be proud of me. I want them to be happy for me. They know where I came from.
Right.
They know how hard I worked. So what the fuck
Exactly.
is wrong with these people? I don't know, Diane.
I know, like,
Something is wrong with
celebrate.
these fucking people.
Well, it's not even, yeah, it's not celebrate. And in the end, it's your story.
Yeah.
And it's just your story. It's not like, in the end, let you do, it's in the end, it's just my story. I mean, I'm just doing me.
But that's the problem.
I'm just doing me. You don't need to.
But that's the problem. How
Celebrate
many
me.
people are incapable of getting to that true, raw, authentic, vulnerable part of themselves where they're like willing to say, here I am, good, bad, and different. Here's my truth. Here's my story. Like me, don't accept me, don't accept me. And I think that's what this podcast is all about. It's like really, we can say to do these things, but we actually do these things.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, I'm feeling like almost like that. What am I? On Friday, I was feeling the excitement and in that.
And I felt it for you.
Yeah.
Right. As an empath, I felt it for you. And then today,
Yes.
What happened?
I know today I'm like, can you talk to me? And she's like, yeah, I'll meet you later. We'll do the podcast. I'm like, no, like I need to talk because I'm like, I'm feeling, I don't know, I'm just not feeling happy. I'm feeling, why is this happening? Why do people do this? Should I not have done this? And in the end, I know Spirit came to me to write the book, share my story and my tools to help someone else and to help. And now we're international, so we're going to help a bunch of women out there.
Yeah, you are.
And men. It's not just about women, and men.
Yeah, anyone who has been in, what did you say, the shit storm?
Yes.
The shit.
Or on the struggle bus. I mean,
On the
like
struggle
who is
bus.
not, it's not just on Mondays. I mean, I'm sometimes on the struggle bus, more than just Mondays.
Yeah, I mean, we all are. And so what happens though is think about it. Life's a mirror. Life's a mirror. So wherever you are, whatever's going on with you, it's being reflected back to you in your relationships and your choices and the people that surround you, right? And so as long as you are a reflection back of dysfunction, of, I don't know, I just want to say dysfunction is the only word that comes to me, or whatever, wherever you are, you're going to be a mirror. So when you've ascended, you're going to be a mirror to those that have ascended, right? People who are going to challenge you and motivate you and support you and celebrate you. And when you've been a mirror for the dysfunction, you can't then be surprised that people are dysfunctional.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so if people are jealous or they're insecure or they're in the ego, which a lot of these kind of behaviors are, like, oh, my friend just became successful. She thinks, oh my God, I'm gonna block her, whatever it is. That's all ego kind of stuff. And everything we do is about working to fight and destroy the ego.
I know. Like the ego needs to go sit in that seat over there.
Far away. I don't even want it in that seat. I want it in the next room. I want it far, far away.
I don't.
Carl Jung, for those of you that may not have done any work around ego, let me just say this. Carl Jung is like one of the best theorists out there. And he did this whole segment on ego death. There's a book called Ego Death that was written by him. But even if you research him on Google, it's really about the ego being like that most protective and narcissistic part of ourselves that's in that protective energy that thinks it can control everything and everyone, that thinks if you worry or obsess enough, that somehow it's going to be good, that if you put yourself out there and allow yourself to be real and vulnerable, that's too scary, that it's got to like kind of fend off the rest of the world. And the truth is that that's all an illusion. That's all a self-protective mechanism, right? We talk about how I'm a therapist with but it's
No, I like it.
self-protective. It's
Yes,
self-protective.
yeah, yes.
And so what happens is when you, like, if you and someone else are here
Okay.
and suddenly you ascend or you elevate, you're doing your work because it's about doing your work. It doesn't just happen. No one just ascends, like, wake up and poof, I'm suddenly ascended. You're doing your work, you're doing your work. I know, right? No, it doesn't come. Dark night of the soul, another lesson maybe for another time. But it's like you start, like, there's like a shift suddenly energetically, and you're like here. And the person down here who hasn't done their work is not gonna like that bit. Their ego is not gonna like that a bit. They're like, what is the expression? In the same boat.
Yes.
So if we're all dysfunctional and we're all in the same, it's kind of like with addiction. Right? Actually, beautiful metaphor.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful metaphor.
I know where you're going. You use go there. Love
Yeah,
it.
you have like a million friends when you're active in your use and your substance abuse. The second you get sober, it's like you've become a social leper. Right? It's like, who do you think you are? You think you're better? You think you're not going to come back and drink again? Whatever that is. And it's like, it's not that that person thinks they're better. They're just ascended. They want something better. Right. And it's not that they don't want their other friends to elevate and do something better. It's their choice. It's like the free will choice. Do you want to ascend and do something more meaningful with your life, or do you want to stay in this energy? And that's their choice. They can't be mad at you for their choice.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And just,
but it sucks though.
I know. And it just, hurts that your tribe's changing. And
can I ask this question? Were they really your tribe?
As an empath,
were they your tribe?
As an empath, aren't we fooled easily? I'm fooled easily. I just say it's because I'm an empath.
We're idiots. You and I are two idiots. We are trusting, we are believing in our personal life, not in our work. It's like we trust in our work. Like we know what we know, we know what we believe, we're really skilled, we're on point. But when it comes to the personal life over here, it's like we want to see the best in everyone. Because that's where our heart is. Like that's why we're in these relationships. We see the best in them. We're mirrors of that. We show them what we see is the best in them.
Yes.
Problem is it's just not always reflected back. Sometimes maybe we see more than it's actually there.
Yes, that's a good point.
What we want to see, not what's
that's a good point.
Actually there. I'll tell you a crazy story about this woman that I was friends with for years and years and years. I was even in her wedding.
Oh my gosh, you were? What were you? Were you the bridesmaid?
I don't know. Is that too much disclosure? But
no, because already, we won't talk about where my brain's been spinning.
Too much disclosure. Yeah, you made me self-conscious. I know. But I was in her wedding, and like she lived far away, and I was flying, and buying the dress and the shoes and all that stuff.
She buy a handbag?
Yes, I actually did buy a handbag. It was all like navy blue, whatever. And like she was one of my closest friends. And the truth is, we met in this energetic playing field of where the two of us both came out of long-term relationships, like all throughout our adulthood. And that was like a bonding for the two of us. And so she met this guy who I loved, by the way, a really good guy. And they were getting married. And while she was her life was kind of going up here, my life was kind of like going down here in the sense that I had a lot that was going on in my life that was just overwhelming me. Like I had just started my business. My father was just diagnosed with prostate cancer. My dog was dying. My 22-year relationship had ended. Like all these things were going on. And I remember she'd be like so upset, and she didn't work. I worked, all the time. And so she's like, I'm upset you're not talking to me, calling me, doing all these things. And I'm like, I don't think you understand how much I have on my plate right now. In her mind, I would wager, I'm not her, that she thought I started this business and suddenly thought I was better than her. I don't know this to be true. It's the only thing that makes sense. Because maybe she wasn't working, maybe didn't have that same level of fulfillment. I don't really know, but I feel like I started my own business and something changed. And I remember saying to her, like, I just have so much on my plate. And she's like, I understand if you don't want to see me, I'm living this happy, perfect life and you're not. It's like,
Like she fucking knows
bolt cutters.
what a happy, perfect life is.
Bolt cutters to that. I was like, you're my friend. You know, I am in like the most transitional low struggle point. Like, I dare you. And I did. I like never spoke to her after that. Her husband would even reach out to me and be like, oh, you know, she misses you. And I'm like, I don't need this shit.
Did you tell him what she said?
Yeah. I said,
The
I don't
stupid
need
shit she said?
I said, I don't need this shit. And I'm not mad at her. At this point, I'm like, I'm not even mad.
She's just a stupid.
It was stupid. And whether she meant to say it.
Who has a happy, perfect life?
Yeah, you know what?
Like, who does?
Nobody.
No one.
Nobody. But apparently your haters think you have a happy. Did they even steal your profile picture?
Oh my God, I know I have to tell you guys. Luckily, one of my friends texted me to say, is this you, Diane? So I'm like, no.
Diane Diva or Diva Diane.
So I do have a Diva Diane 02 Instagram, but someone took that and cloned it, which I barely use my personal Instagram.
Well, aren't
I
you
use
like
my
a new
business.
level of fame that like someone's like,
So this is
it must
funny
be all of
part.
our viewers out here, all 200 of you.
And so this person has just 38 followers, no post. But the funny thing is, while you were taking a break, because I need to report it, my girlfriend's like, make sure you report it. The funny thing is, the person is following my business site, Lotus Soul Healing Arts. I'm like, oh.
You know, you've elevated to a whole new level where people want to be you. But let's be honest, are our lives
It's a
perfect?
picture of Brendan and I. That's how, you know, I'm like,
I had someone say to me like a week ago, they're like, well, what do you know? Your life is perfect. I'm like, how is it? I'm so glad
how much you work.
How much I work, the things we struggle with our adult parents or our children or our, you know, our health. No.
I know.
No.
I ran home and I had a cauliflower pizza on the floor with the dogs. That was my quick dinner tonight.
You went up me. I didn't even have dinner yet, but I'm going to. I'm going to at 9:30 tonight.
The dogs are looking at me like, we gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So, I know I might be telling you guys too much, but we're real. We are real. This is like the real channel.
And we're not the perfect bitches that people think we are.
No.
And so.
But you know, if you're friends with us, we got your back.
Always.
And you see what you get.
Yeah. So for those of you who love us, thank you for the love. For those of you that don't, it's okay. You don't care. This is Two Italian Women and the stories we tell.
And if you, right now, the Entangled No More, and I'm going to mention the book, not about my chapter, about really the 19 other amazing women. I'll put it in the link down below. You can get it, you can download it for a very, it's a very economical price, maybe a little bit over $1, because the money's going to an awesome charity. It's a charity for cancer.
Love that.
Isn't that just so resonated with me, and I didn't even know it. And in a couple of weeks, the paperback will actually be out too. And if you want a signed copy, I'll be able to sell you that too.
She's giving out autographs, boys and girls. I'll be there. I'll be fanning you. I'll be like, oh, take a break, Diane. Too much. I'll always be your cheerleader. And you know what? When you have friends that knew you then in this energy, and they still love you when you're in this energy, you know you have a good friend.
Because you knew me in this energy.
As did you know me, right? And so that's why we do our work together. All right, so stay tuned. We have absolutely, what is this one going to be called?
Oh, you have the name.
There's no perfect fucking life, I think is this one. And the next one, we're going to be talking about some very controversial issues that affect women's life each and every day.
Good. I think this is episode 11.
Might be.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Stay well. Bye-bye.